Hurricane Harvey.
Pulling people from out the sky now.
Devastating.
A catastrophic event of epic proportions that pummeled Houston.
Trying to get to safety.
It touches you to the core.
A natural disaster that inspired supernatural acts of heroism.
There were tons and tons of people helping everybody. It was good to see everybody come together.
But there is one hero who was not just battling the deadly hurricane, he was also battling his own deadly terminal illness.
He could have retired right after he had his diagnosis, but he's chosen to keep working and keep doing what he loves, which is being a police officer.
Norbert Ramon, a 24-year veteran of the Houston Police Department, has a passion for his job, and as a patrolman, he saw plenty of action.
What's your favorite thing about being a police officer?
It's not routine. It's different every day, you know, so you could be in a hailstorm one day, or, you know, you can meet all kinds of people.
There's always a different challenge.
Right.
But one day will forever be seared in the mind of Officer Ramon, the day he was diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer.
It's been a bumpy road.
Ramon got the devastating diagnosis after a routine colonoscopy.
But I had no symptoms. I mean, I was in and out. I was in best shape of my life. Running, jogging, you know, just doing everything. Lost all this weight.
This just came out of nowhere. You were feeling good and healthy.
Never sick at all.
In a 1-2 punch, the doctors delivered the news nobody wants to hear: a death sentence. Officer Ramon had only 2 to 5 years to live.
It hits you like a ton of bricks.
The dad and grandfather of 3 was pulled from patrol and placed on desk duty while he underwent chemotherapy every 2 weeks.
And they immediately started me on chemo after that, so I was getting a lot of pains in my stomach. I almost keeled over.
But when Hurricane Harvey hit, so did the brave call of duty.
I don't sit here and dwell on my cancer. The only time it hits me is when I go to the doctor and reality hits me again.
With the floodwaters rising, Officer Ramon forgot his own troubles and plunged into action. He couldn't make it to headquarters, so he reported to a nearby station, Houston PD's Lake Patrol.
When I showed up to work Saturday morning, he was already here. He actually beat me here.
Sergeant Epi Garza has worked alongside Officer Ramon for 15 years. He was thrilled to see his longtime buddy turn up to lend a hand.
I knew this was going to be serious, and I could use all the help I could need, especially with officers who got experience like himself in boating.
But Sergeant Garza knew he had to keep his good friend from getting in over his head, since he was the only other person who knew about Officer Ramon's cancer battle.
And I briefed everybody, and I briefed him to the side, and we talked. I'm like, hey, just let me know how you feel. If you need to take a break, or if you need a rest, or, you know, in other words, I want to give him special treatment, but he's not that type. He doesn't want it. If everybody else is out there working, guess what? He's going to be out there working too.
No, he's not. In fact, even working round the clock for days, none of the other cops had any clue Ramon was facing a terminal condition.
Somebody had to tell me he had cancer. I didn't even know. He made the rest of us feel like we needed to step up our game a little bit.
Ramon and the patrol team braved the rising floodwaters, tirelessly rescuing trapped and desperate people on boats packed beyond capacity.
Right now it's just us and we've got all the room in the world. But when you were on this boat during Hurricane Harvey, what did it look like? What did it feel like here?
Oh, this whole deck was covered with people. Her hair, in the back, size, as many as we could put on.
You saved children from second-story apartments?
Yeah, we had to stand on the top and had to reach, and, you know, reach as far as I can, and then they hand them to me.
The babies?
Yeah, the babies and stuff, and I set them down, and then some adults were trying to climb up. I was like, oh my God.
But Officer Ramon is quick to point out he was only a small part of the rescue effort. Many officers risked it all to save the stranded. In fact, some of his brothers in blue actually had to be snatched from the raging waters themselves. But it wasn't just rising floodwaters that posed a danger to Officer Ramon. The toxins in the water posed an added danger in his weakened condition.
What do you think your doctors would have said if they'd known what you were doing?
At first, they're like, he's crazy. What's he doing out there?
It's muddy, there's debris, there are chemicals, there are toxins in that water.
There's bugs, you know, just everything, you know, so just...
But you didn't think about that?
No, no.
Even with all the devastation, Ramon says there were bright spots thanks to his fellow comrades.
They say you were the Energizer Bunny, though. You were just nonstop. You were going and going. You were just full of energy and vitality.
When you work with these guys and they joke around like that, you know, they keep you going. The guys around here are clowns. I mean, they keep you laughing. There's never a dull moment.
And of course, a superfood that's been one of Officer Ramon's secret weapons for all these years.
How did you get the strength with stage 4 cancer? Where did your strength come from?
I guess all the donuts they brought us here over.
The
No way to get no food. That's all the local community. It was so funny. I've never seen so many donuts before in my life.
All joking aside, eventually the team got wind of Ramon's grave condition.
We actually slept here at the station. Well, I was the only one that knew about his diagnosis. And one night, you know, all the guys are fixing to go to bed, and one of the guys goes, hey, I don't want to get in Officer Ramon's business, but have you seen him? Have you seen his feet? Something's wrong with him. Well, because of the treatments that he takes, because of chemo, it makes his feet turn colors. I had to tell him the truth of what his diagnosis was, and they were just all amazed.
Officer Ramon didn't complain, not for a single second. And after saving all those lives, he still had to save himself. With the airports closed, he then drove through the wreckage to Oklahoma for his own treatments.
You saved people, and then immediately after saving people, you went for chemo treatment?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Officer Ramon has lived for 2 years with stage 4 colon cancer. He battles every morning for one more day, and there are at least 1,600 people who are here because of his courage.
We hear that he saved 1,500 people.
And that number actually is probably on the low end. But I've always said, to me, what's the most remarkable is just him just doing it and not complaining, and not being one to be treated anything special.
And when the floodwaters finally cleared, the man who helped save more than 1,500 lives still refuses to take credit for his heroism.
Because of your heroics, there are generations who will still be around because you didn't give up even though you have cancer. Do you feel like you're a hero? We do.
Oh, I know everybody calls it. I just can't accept it. I mean, I was just out there working, doing what we do regardless, you know. I consider every officer out there working, you know, they're all heroes to me.
Houston police officer Norbert Ramon was not alone when he rescued more than 1,500 people during Hurricane Harvey. However, Officer Ramon's story is quite unique. That's because along with battling the rising floodwaters, he was battling an aggressive form of cancer. And right now, I'm honored to be joined by this brave officer. Thanks for being here. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good.
How is the battle against cancer going?
It's going good. I mean, I try not to dwell on it. I try just to keep my life normal, stay busy, do a lot of recreational activities, keep my mind free.
What was it like being in that situation? That had to be overwhelming.
The first day we went out, we had a lot of children and families that we rescued, and that was all day, 8 or 9 hours, just back and forth, back and forth.
Well, I want to bring in someone who obviously is very supportive of you, your wife, Cindy. Cindy, come on in here. Thanks for being with us. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
What did you think when he said he was going to work with all these things going on with his health?
Well, it's a huge concern of mine, of course, because he is battling stage 4 colon cancer, and it's an aggressive form of cancer. All I was doing just praying and saying, God, please keep this man safe, keep him healthy. I knew he was going to be out there doing what he loves to do, helping people.
Tell me one thing about your husband that no one else knows.
He's a big teddy bear. He might put on this front that he's big, burly, mean, tough guy, but he's a sweetheart.
Well, your actions that day did not just touch the people of Houston, they touch us here at Crime Watch Daily. And right now we would like to award you with our special badge of honor. It's a little title we reserve for those who go above and beyond the call of duty and you certainly deserve it. And here is a check for $5,000.
Oh my God! Thank you so much.
Which is made out to the Assist the Officer Foundation in Texas. It's a great organization, one we're very fond of. And there's something else. They told us that they're going to award this to you guys. So it's yours to help in your battle and your struggle and everything you've got going on in life.
Oh, thank you guys.
It is the very least we could do, and God bless. And we wish you nothing but Godspeed and good health.
Thank you so much. I mean, I believe in prayers, and thank you for everything.